In this video, we're going to look at how to identify the main verb of a sentence. Let's begin by defining what a sentence is. Essentially, a sentence is someone or something, that's the subject of a sentence, doing or being something. And that's the main verb. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, it's important to realize that a sentence only needs these two components, a subject and a main verb. So let's look at two extremely simple sentences to illustrate this. Jennifer slept. In this case, Jennifer is the subject. It's someone, and she's doing something. Slept. That's the main verb. Another complete sentence, it is cold. It is the subject, it's something, and it is being something, cold. And the word that links the subject with the word that describes the subject is the main verb, is. Those are two complete sentences. All right, there are three types of main verbs. The first is the most obvious, and that's an action verb. Okay? So let's look at an example. My brother screamed at his cell phone. There's some screaming going on here. There's an action. Screamed is the main verb. Okay? There are hundreds and hundreds of verbs out there, action words. Ran, wants, thinks, suppose, supposes. Now note that ran and screamed are pretty obvious actions, but wants, thinks, and supposes are kind of abstract. So, but make no mistake, they are also actions. A little bit more difficult to find are the linking verbs. What a linking verb does is joins the subject of the sentence with a word that describes it, okay, a modifier. So in this case, the linking verb is. We have a subject, Megan, and Megan is happy. A word that describes Megan is happy. And the word between those, that links those two, is called a linking verb. And there are many linking verbs. Most linking verbs are forms of to be. Is, was, are, were, but forms of to seem, to become, and to appear can also be linking verbs. So linking verbs, again, join the subject with the word or words that describe it. The last kind of potential main verb are action and linking verbs with a helper in front of it. The salesperson was reviewing my order. Here we have an action, reviewing. There's some reviewing going on. Always look in front of the linking or action verb to see if there's a helper that helps it become grammatically correct. In this case, the word was is the helper. So the entire verb in this case is was reviewing. The salesperson was reviewing my order. So in D2L, when it asks you what the main verb is, in this case you would say was reviewing. Now, note there are a lot of different types of helpers. Can, should, will be, could be. All right, there's lots of different types of helpers that will go in front of action words or linking verbs. All right, it's important to realize when you're looking for main verbs to eliminate modifiers. And that's because the main verb of a sentence cannot be part of a modifier. A modifier is a word or words that describe something. Let's look at an example. Jason ran for the bus because he was late. Well, in this case, in this sentence, ran is our main verb, and our subject is Jason. All right, well, for the bus, the word for is a preposition. It always begins a prepositional phrase, which is a type of modifier. So you could stroke for the bus out. It cannot contain the main verb of the sentence. And because is another word that always begins a modifier. And so what you're going to see after because, you're going to see a subject and a verb. Stroke that whole clause out. It cannot contain the main verb of the sentence because it's a modifier. So both of these are modifiers. Now, if you want to learn how to identify modifiers, use the Sentence Discovery app. It's a free app produced by Canada College. It'll help you with that. And also go to your instructor, and your instructor will provide you with a list of words that always begin modifiers. So again, main verbs cannot be part of the modifier. Once you find a modifier, stroke it out, you're left with Jason and ran. Okay, there are some special cases when it comes to finding main verbs. The first is for sentences that are questions or here and there sentences. Usually the subject comes before the verb, but in here and there sentences, you'll find that the verb is split between the subject of the sentence. So let's look at the first sentence. Did Paul run to the store? Here we have our action verb run, but the helper is not just in front of it, it's in front of it, but it's been split by the subject of the sentence. So the entire main verb in this sentence is did run. And for sentences that begin with here and there, the same thing happens. The subject splits the main verb. So we have some running going on here. So running is an action verb. Now look in front of it. Well, Paul's in front of it. Paul can't be a verb. It's a noun. But the word is there. So we do have a helper, but it's been split by the subject. So be very careful with questions and here and there sentences. Your entire verb might be split. And be careful with infinitive verbs. Infinitive verbs are verbs that begin with the word to. They can never be the main verb of a sentence. For example, Tessa likes to run. To run. Run is a verb, but it's an infinitive verb, an infinitive form of a verb. We know that because it begins with to. So we can eliminate that. It can never be the main verb of the sentence. So in this case, our verb is likes, and our subject is Tessa. So if you're having trouble identifying sentence parts, subjects, verb, main verbs, modifiers, conjunctions, objects, go play with the Sentence Discovery app. It's produced by Canada College and it's free.